Welcome to the press conference of the jury today. So, on va commencer juste par vous présenter les membres
I'd like
du
to
jury
start by
très très vite.
introducing the members of the jury very quickly. We'll start on the far end of the table. The director from Spain, Juan Antonio Bayona.
À ses côtés,
Next
l'actrice
to him,
Ebru,
the actress Ebru.
le réalisateur
The
Kore-edaHirokazu,
director, Kore-edaHirokazu.
scénariste et réalisatrice Ebru,
The
Ceylan,
scriptwriter and Ebru, Ceylan.
we're going to jump one member, we'll come back to you afterwards. The actress Gladstone. L'acteur et producteur Omar.
The actor and producer, Omar.
La réalisatrice Nadine
The
Labaki.
director, Nadine Labaki.
L'acteur Pierfrancesco.
Pierfrancesco Favino.
And of course, Madame la Présidente, Greta Gerwig.
And of course, the president of the jury, Greta Gerwig.
Okay, before I open the floor to questioning, avant de donner la parole aux journalistes ici, just one question for everybody. First of all, you can put your headphones on. You have translation, English, French, Turkish, and Japanese, if you need that. The question is very simple, and at the same time a little bit complicated. What does it mean to be a member of the jury this year? Let's start with you, Madame la Présidente. Yeah, I know.
Well, first of all, I have to say this is beyond a dream come true. This is not a dream I even knew to have in terms of being honored to be a part of this group of people at the Cannes Film Festival. So I am pinching myself. This is a marvel. To me, one of my favorite things that I ever get to do is watch cinema and discuss it, and this is getting to do that with the most wonderful cinema artists and minds for the next 2 weeks, 10 days, and it just feels thrilling, honestly, to be part of it, and I still am shocked that I am here.
Well, Antonio?
Well, I'm beyond excitement. You know, I've been attending film festivals since I've been 16. 30 years later, I'm still getting away with it. And so to me, it's like the best thing in the world, as Greta says, to watch movies, to discuss movies, and to see the best selection of films right now in the world in the best festival. It's a huge privilege and a huge responsibility at the same time.
Eva?
So yes, of course, it's such a great honor and a very complex role. You know, to be a jury member, you have to watch movies, judge movies, compare them, and it's quite a challenge because art is so, subjective. So yeah, it's a tough exercise that must be taken seriously because your decision will, can change a filmmaker's life. People spend years and years prepping a film, putting their heart and soul into a film. So yeah, big responsibility, but very exciting.
Monsieur Kore-Eda.
そうですね。審査員ほとんど、
Yes.
初めて新人のようなものなんですけれども、
It's my first time being a jury member.
テリーから
I am a newbie,
自分が
and when
こう自分を育ててくれた映画祭で
Thierry
も
reached
らっ
out
た
to
賞
me,
を
this
次の
is
世代に渡す
the
役割を担って
film
ほしい
festival that
という
has
ふう
really
に言われ
helped me
て
to grow as a director, and
そう
he said
いう
it's
責
time for you
任を
now to give
出さな
back
けれ
and
ばいけないなという
to
思いで
contribute, and
こ
I
こに座
did
っております
feel
が
that yes, that is my responsibility now.
並んだ皆さんと一緒にお話をして
Yesterday, I had an
ディナーを
opportunity to
食べ
talk
て
to everybody
とて
here
も
on
和
the
やかな
jury
時
and
間を
have
過ご
dinner
すことが
together,
で
and we
き
had
た
a
の
lovely time together,
いい2週間になればいいなと思って
and
ます。
so I'm really looking forward to the next 2 weeks.
Festivaller ve ödüller elbette ki bir filmi değerlendirmede mutlak bir sonucu işaret etmezler.
Of course.
Fakat yine de filmler üzerine
It's a great
konuşmak,
responsibility
düşünmek, onları kritik etmek
to think about these
tek
films,
başına
talk about
böyle çok
these
değerli diye
films,
düşünüyorum ama aynı zamanda
and
büyük de
to
bir
bring in
sorumluluk.
one's
Çünkü
own
bir de
viewpoint.
ödüllerin
It's
ve
very
festivallerin
important
filmi
for me,
kademede
but it's a great
tutulması,
responsibility at the same time.
üzerimizdeki sorumluluk
We
büyük
know the
diyebilirim.
impact
Ama
decisions can
heyecanla
have on
izleyeceğim
the
filmleri
fate of
bekliyorum.
a film, and the director. I'm deeply excited to be here and to be able to view all these films.
Lily?
It's a huge honor and privilege, and I thought I just got over my imposter syndrome last year after the run that I had, and now it's started all over again. This is incredible company to be in. I'm really, really looking forward to just having this charge to sit and watch films from so many different perspectives around the globe, so many different artistic voices. I'm looking forward to, I just want to thank all of the filmmakers who submitted, all of the ones that we get to enjoy their work, be challenged by their work, be scared by it, be excited. And as an artist who, I gather all my inspiration from other artists. So it's a huge privilege to be sitting in this place. Just happy.
Omar?
Comme tout le monde, je suis
Well, just
très
like everyone
honoré,
else, I'm deeply honored
et très très reconnaissant
and
de
very
cette charge qui
grateful
m'est donnée. Et c'est aussi un
to have
privilège
been
d'être
given
là
this
aussi avec
responsibility. It's a
tous mes
privilege to
voisins
be
qui
here
ont
with all my
cette
neighbors
expérience du cinéma, cette
who have great
sensibilité aussi qui est
experience
différente de
of
la
the
mienne.
cinema,
Donc,
and they
on est
come
conscient de la
from
responsabilité
different
qu'on a. Alors, moi,
cultures
je suis
and have
arrivé
different
hyper relax
sensitivities.
hier,
I
et puis
arrived
d'un
very
coup, dans
relaxed
une des réunions,
yesterday,
vous
and
êtes
at
conscient
one
que
of
vous
the
allez changer la vie
meetings,
des
someone
gens.
said to me, "Do you
Je dis, ah,
realize you're
merde.
going to change someone's life, someone's career?"
Finalement,
And
c'est
I
vrai
thought,
que
my
c'est pas faux.
goodness,
En
it's
fait,
true.
une palme, ça peut changer
A Palme
la
d'Or can
carrière d'un
change
film,
the
aussi la
career
carrière
of
de
a
quelqu'un,
film,
donc
the
changer la vie
career
quelque
of a
part.
person.
Donc on met ça un peu de côté.
Change that
Il y a
person's
quand même
life.
l'envie de
But
discuter
we have to set
ensemble,
this to one
d'échanger
side. We
sur un
want to
film,
talk
de voir des films
together,
ensemble et puis finalement
compare
discuter,
notes on
d'aller
a
voir
film, watch the
d'autres
film
films et de changer
together,
en fait
see
une
other films,
perspective
and then
des
change
choses. Voilà,
our
juste ouvrir
stances,
nos esprits,
open
discuter,
up our
avoir
minds, and
des
talk
arguments,
matters over
des
together, put forward our
discussions, que ça
reasons,
soit
hold
constructif. Voilà,
discussions,
et
and
on
be
se
very
disait hier
constructive.
lors
We
de notre
said
discussion que c'est
yesterday,
vrai
in
que
the
il y a
course of
peu
our
d'endroits
discussions,
aujourd'hui à
that there are
notre
very
époque où
few
on
places
peut avoir
in the world
des
today
différents,
where you
mais
can
basés sur de la
have
construction avec un truc
different
positif à la clé.
stances
Donc
and views, but
on a
with a
cette
view to
chance-là et je
reaching
crois qu'on a
a
une tous très
positive
conscients et
consensus.
on va en
We're all
profiter.
mindful of our responsibility, and we'll enjoy our stay here.
For me, it's really like a young student dream in cinema of being here, being part of the jury. I used to come here as a student, as a lover of cinema. And you know how difficult the access to Cannes is, how difficult the access to movie theaters, and just watching a film was just a dream coming true. And now being here as, part of this jury and just being able to enjoy such amazing filmmakers, enjoy their different perspectives, their different points of views on the world, is really fascinating and very exciting for me. And I'm even more proud because I'm coming from a country that is at great difficulty. I come from Lebanon, so and just being here is a sort of a triumph. It's a sort of a, and it's another proof for me that cultural resistance is prevails, and I'm really very, very honored to be here and to be enjoying this amazing adventure with all of you.
Pierfrancesco.
Well, the same for me. I'm extremely grateful to be here to share this experience with these wonderful people, talented people. It seems to me that it's very difficult to find spaces, free spaces, where we can share, really, truthfully, even discuss ideas around cinema, and I think this is a magic space for this. So having the chance to watch the movies of the incredible filmmakers that are in the list of this selection, and having the chance to share it with these people, and as Omar was saying, change our minds. Learning, I think it's one of the biggest gifts that I could have been given.
All right, so let's start with the questions. Gentleman over there, please. please stand up if you can.
Bonjour. Bonjour à tous,
Good
bienvenue à
afternoon.
Cannes.
Welcome
Jérémy
to
Kiffel
Cannes.
pour le magazine
Jérémy
Cinéma et
Kiffel,
pour Kiss FM.
Cinema and
Ma question
Kiss
est pour
FM.
Omar Sy.
I have a question for
Bienvenue
Omar
dans le
Sy.
jury.
You're now in the
Est-ce que vous pouvez
jury.
me parler de
Could you talk to me
votre
about
avis, vous, de la Palme d'Or?
your
Qu'est-ce qui peut
opinion
être
about
une
the Palme d'Or?
à Cannes?
What does a Palme d'Or in Cannes consist in?
C'est une chose que
Well, I think
cette question, je pourrais y répondre à la fin.
that I'll be able to answer this question at the
Une
end.
Palme d'Or, en tant que
Palme d'Or,
spectateur, c'est quelque chose qui a été décidé
is
par d'autres.
something so far for me that was decided by others. We'll be seeing all the films to see whether they're worth the Palme d'Or, but I have a different role today. At the end, I will be able to say the Palme d'Or should be this or that film. But to say what a Palme d'Or should consist in at this stage, it's too early on. I'm just learning to keep secrets.
Rodrigo.
Hi, hello. Hi, Rodrigo Fonseca from Correio da Manhã, Rio de Janeiro. My question goes to Omar Sy and to Bayona. When the selection was announced, we realized that we would watch a musical, Brazilian erotic thriller, comedies, melodramas. What drives us to genre cinema? My question to you is, what do you believe to be the place for genre cinema in a competition like this?
La place du cinéma de genre dans une compétition comme celle de Cannes.
Cinema, genre cinéma here in Cannes.
C'est encore une fois, c'est pour moi.
Once again, for me,
c'est la sélection. Nous, on arrive avec une sélection qui
we
est
have
faite.
the given selection,
C'est au festival de décider
and
quel
it's
genre
up to
de
the
film
festival to
arrive.
decide what
Et nous,
kinds
on
of
va
films are going to
voir
be
ces
selected.
films-là
We'll be
et
watching those films
redire
that
ce
have
qu'on en
been
pense.
selected, and
Mais
we'll
de
make up our
la
minds
place
about
des
them.
films de genre dans le
The place
tout à
of
fait
genre
notre rôle, j'ai envie de
films,
dire.
well, it's not up to us to
Mais j'ai
decide.
l'impression que
I have the impression,
film a
however,
sa place dans un
that
festival comme celui-là,
every
selon moi,
film
et
has
le passé l'a
a
prouvé, je pense.
place in a given festival.
Madame, au troisième rang.
Hi, good morning. Maria Guerra, Quinótico, Spain. This is a question for you all. We are having this stormy sense with the French Me Too. Do you think this situation now harms the festival somehow? And por favor, Bayona en español. But please, the president, please.
Who wants to take that?
Oh, I think people in the community of movies telling their stories and trying to change things for the better is only good. I have seen substantive change in the American film community, and I think it's important that we continue to expand that conversation. So I think it's only moving everything in the correct direction to keep those lines of communication open.
I will answer in Spanish and she will translate. Bueno, yo creo que es una problemática que no afecta al cine específicamente, evidentemente afecta a la sociedad en la que vivimos y el cine, como una parte importante de nuestra sociedad, es reflejo de ello. Yo creo que aquí precisamente estamos para valorar las películas y las películas están muy en contacto con el momento en el que vivimos y evidentemente todos somos sensibles a todo lo que está sucediendo a nuestro alrededor.
Non, mais elle va traduire.
Je dirais que ça n'est pas une problématique qui affecte le
issue that affects the cinema in particular. It's much more widespread, and we're here to really focus on the films.
Je crois qu'on a une question là-bas.
There's a question at the back.
Hi, Ben Dalton from Screen International. This is a question for Greta, but I'm interested to hear from any of you. This festival and this industry rely on freelance workers, and there's a group of freelance festival workers who are considering going on strike. I just wondered if you had a message for those workers and their potential efforts.
Well, I certainly support labor movements. We've certainly gone through this just now in our unions, and I hope that the festival and the workers can form an agreement that is good for them and supports the festival, because this is very important that people have protections and a living wage.
Okay, we got a question right here.
Marco Consoli, La Stampa. I have a question for Pierfrancesco Favino. I want to ask you, you are one actor among many actors in this jury. So I would like to ask you, what are you looking for when you are looking at the performance of one of your colleagues? And considering that you know all the tricks, when you really believe one of your colleagues that portrays a character, what you like? Thanks.
Well, I don't think that there are tricks, and that is basically what I'm more interested in. I mean, you might be an actor, you might be an experienced actor, but you always lose yourself into the interpretation of a colleague, and you have the chance to learn. And when I say colleagues, of course, I mean actresses and actors. And I don't think I'm looking for something when I watch, because otherwise I will be, I don't know, too choosy. I like the surprises. I mean, I think that we all just want to be viewers, that we all want to be taken somewhere else but what we see, as you do. And I think this is the hope that we all have when we're in front of a screen. So that's my expectation, to forget where I am and to be driven somewhere else.
Maybe other actors of the jury want to answer this question, looking at your colleagues on screen. Eva?
Personally, in this case, I think I will just, look for somebody that grabs me, provokes me, moves me. Just follow your gut instinct rather than analyzing it, intellectually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, acting's such a technical craft, but it's a difficult one to really say what performance moves you more than the other. I'm inspired by all different ways of performance. Nobody's keeping a score sheet for tracking method or anything like that. I'm always inspired by actors who can transform the world around them and make the film maybe something that it wouldn't have been otherwise. So that's always something that I look for to surprise me. But yeah, it's walking into every film and being open and embracing every performance. And ultimately, I think as an actor, watching other actors is what makes us better actors. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, we got a question over there. Jess?
Bonjour, Jazz Ebert from the United States. Yesterday, Monsieur Frimaud said that sometimes we concentrate too much on the controversies rather than the cinema. But with so much happening in the world, with the changing roles of women in cinema, we have a $1 billion directress up there today, and with everything happening, don't you think it's also fair to consider the controversies in the world when you are judging for the Palme d'Or? And that could be for anyone to answer.
Well, one thing that we spoke about last night as a jury and with Thierry is the marvelous thing about cinema is it's a slow art form. As we were just saying, it can often take years for a movie from the inception to when you see it. And every time we watch a film, it represents years and years of work. And then it also, in itself, is a durational art form. It's an hour, it's 2 hours, it's 3 hours. And in that space, artists from all over the world get to say something extremely specific and extremely personal and something from their point of view. So I think actually just the very act of watching cinema and engaging with it seriously is part of the discussion of what's difficult, because every filmmaker, every actor up here has brought that to bear on the movies they make, either as writers or actors, producers, directors. And I think if you're truly engaging with it, you're engaging with everything, and you're engaging with a thoughtful version of it that is considered and has grown over time. So I think it certainly is important to consider it, and I think the very nature of Cannes does consider it.
All right, we got a question. Gentleman in first row over there.
Hello, my name is Johnny Hawk. I'm from Bangladesh, and my newspaper name is Bangla Tribune. Congratulations, all of you. I have a question for Lily. Lily, you are a Native American, and that's why I'm saying that my country has also some indigenous groups. They are their life, their talent, their rich culture is very inspiring. But although their life or come up on big screen very less in my country, do you think that do you think that there's some same picture exists around the world?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand.
Do you think that the same picture
do you think that it's
around the world for indigenous people?
You see, the question of indigenous people is the same all over the world, or is it like characteristic to each country? In cinema, of course.
I feel like indigenous people, we recognize representation coming from each other very quickly. Even though we're an incredibly diverse global community, there's still an identity and a sense of how we experience the world and how we remain. And I think so many of us, where we come from, remain because of the stories that we tell. So I've always been drawn to cinema, and before I saw my own representation, before I saw a whole lot of Native American filmmakers, storytellers behind the camera, shaping the narratives, I often would resonate with filmmakers from across the globe, from another indigenous community. So it's impossible to try to homogenize us into one perspective, although I do think there is very much a shared experience, particularly our relationship to storytelling, our relationship to our land, our languages, and of cultural survival, for sure.
You have a question on the other side of the room over there?
Thank you so much. My name is Pam Serbas from Rudao Media Network, a Kurdish media outlet. My question is for Ms. Greta. We are pleased to see a woman in this position, like head of the jury, but there are some complaints about the women participating, women directors participating in this year's festival. What is the reason of this, that their numbers is not much? Thank you.
Well, I think I'm very honored and pleased to be here as a director, and also to follow in the footsteps of Jane Campion, who was the head of the jury 10 years ago, and I think I've been making movies and going to film festivals for almost 20 years, and in a way, this has never not been a question of moving things forward and increasing the number of female directors and the number of female authors. And in my lifetime of making movies, it's changed and it's gotten better, and there's more, and it's not done yet, but it's certainly moving in the right direction. And I look forward to every movie that we are fortunate enough to see, and every year I cheer when there are more and more and more women being represented, and I think it's about sort of the long arc of moving this. And again, I think it also goes back to how long it takes movies to get made. It's also something where it comes over time, and I thought, I don't know, 15 years ago, I couldn't imagine the number of women that were represented, not only in international festivals, but in distribution and in awards conversations. And so I'm hopeful that it's just continuing.
A lady in the middle of the room.
Hi, Jada Yuan from the Washington Post. This is for Greta and Lily. Hi, nice to see you guys. And anyone else who wants to answer it. How did you feel when you saw there was a movie about young Donald Trump in this election? And also, as American women who are affected by his policies, Lily, you as a Native American, is it possible to be completely objective when watching it, and is it necessary?
I don't know that objectivism is necessary in such a case, but taking it for the art form that it will be, because, I mean, that's unfortunately could be a genre in and of itself. So, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I think, I sort of take I try to come to every film that we see with an open mind and an open heart, and to be willing to be surprised. I think sometimes the surface of something, when they say, oh, it's about this or it's about that, and then you get in the movie theater and it's about something that you had no idea that it was going to be about. And I think, so I don't want to make any assumptions about what it is, but I very much look forward to it. Like I look forward to all the films, but I don't. I couldn't say what it will be, but maybe we'll talk afterwards.
All right, at the end of the room over there.
Hi, it's Matt Donnelly from Variety. Congratulations to you all. Mr. Favino, you said something about the jury and just the competition being a free space, but interestingly, the city of Cannes has banned protests this year on the Kore-Eda. I'm curious for all of you, it's hard not to confront what's happening in Gaza. I know, Omar, you posted recently, Nadine being Lebanese. I'm curious how all of you sort of are confronting it personally and also being members of this jury.
Well, when I say the free space, I mean that is, of course, it's not just a physical space. It is also the possibility of having time to do that, which is so rare. And I was addressing not only the situation here, I was addressing the situation in all the world, including, of course, the things you're talking about. But I might say that even in our everyday life. And I still think that one of the most peaceful thing that we could do is seeking for beauty. And I think that reminding the world that there's beauty in the world of filmmakers, it's one of the few things that filmmakers as we are still can stick to say that there's a meaning in what we do. And movies can talk to people, and movies hopefully talk to the better part of people. And I still hope that this happens. This is why I want to be an actor. This is why I'm an actor. This is why I decided that I could be here without feeling guilty as a human being, because I think that we're showing also the possibility of the fact that if we look for beauty, then we might look for peace. We might look for the good things in life, or what I consider personally the good things in life. But I'm quite sure that on this table, there are people that share my same feeling on this aspect.
All right.
Hello, this is Eli Nakhli from Cinematic Show on SBC. First of all, I want to wish you all good luck in your mission, if you call it a mission. My second question is for Nadine Labaki, our Lebanese director, producer, actress, and activist. So many stories are happening now in the Arab world and in all over the world. And whoever watches your movies knows very well that you highlight humanity stories. Therefore, as jury, are you going to be interested to give the full note to the movies which are highlighting humanity stories? Thank you.
Absolutely. Not only that, I mean, anything that deals with digging deep in human nature and digging deep in human condition and talking about things we might not know about, or opening our eyes about stories we don't know about, and changing our perspective, or igniting in us any will to take action to change something either around us or even change something in the world. These are the films that I'm very interested to watch, because I think we all give so much importance to those 2 hours that we spend in a movie theater, and I think we all expect to come out of it most of the time being shaken or wanting to change something in our lives, because I truly believe in the power of cinema. I truly believe in the power of those images that we see in the big screen, and I truly believe that cinema really talks to you on your emotional frequency, and this is how you are able to really change things. So this is what I try to do when I'm making films too, as much as I can, and this is what I expect to see also when I'm watching a film. And I truly believe that maybe one of the tools to really change something in the situation we all live in right now, which is a situation that I think is not that great, is really through art and really through cinema and through making films that will talk about what's happening in the right way, from the right perspective, and maybe propose a more tolerant way of seeing things and seeing each other as human beings. And that's also what, as much as I can, I try to do in my own cinema.
We had a question over there, the lady in the back of the room.
Merci de me passer la parole. Je
Thank
suis
you
Gilles
for giving me
Laurentina
the
Siga.
floor.
Je suis journaliste pour le
I'm
magazine
a
camerounais
journalist
Yanga.
for a
Félicitations
Cameroonese
déjà à tous
paper.
les membres du jury, mais ma
Congratulations to
question
all the
sera
members of the
adressée à
jury,
Omar
but I have a
Sy.
question for Omar Sy.
Le continent africain,
The
malheureusement, n'est
African
pas
continent,
représenté au jury cette
unfortunately, is
année,
not
mais quand
represented
même,
on
il y a
the
un
jury
cinéma
this
assez
year.
fort qui vient
But
de ce continent.
there are
On a eu
powerful
il y a
films
quelques
that
années
come from this
le Grand
continent.
Prix
A
avec
few years
Mathieu.
ago,
Est-ce
we
que vous
got the
sentez
Grand Prix with
investi dans le
Nadine.
devoir de représenter
Do you
ce cinéma?
feel that it's very important for you to represent the cinema?
Non, c'est pas
Important to represent the cinema? Well, it's not a duty for me, it's just a wish, a desire, which I have been aware of for many years. I produce in Senegal, I work with young directors in that country, and the African cinema has always interested me. It's part and parcel of my culture. I grew up with that cinema. I'm always pleased to see African films who make it to Cannes, as is quite often the case. It's not a duty or an obligation for me. It's perfectly natural. That's what I do at my own little level as I can, but I do this because I want to. It's a passion. Stories from the African continent interest me. They're the kind of thing that I want to depict and talk about. You can see that in the films that I have made. I don't have a lengthy experience, but I feel totally free. It's neither a duty or an obligation for me. It's just something very natural to represent and to boost the
Conchita
African
Casanovas,
film industry.
Radio Nacional de España. Question to Juan Antonio Bayona, short, but in Spanish, please, Juan Antonio. To be jury in Cannes for you is better than holidays in Spa?
Yes. Yes. ¿En español? No, yo lo contaba antes. Desde que tengo 16 años me colaba en los festivales de cine intentando ver películas el máximo posible gratis y 30 años después lo sigo haciendo. Entonces, es lo que más me gusta. Vengo a Cannes desde mi primera película, que tuvo la suerte de debutar en la Semana de la Crítica. Tuve una experiencia fantástica y he venido muchas veces como espectador. Siempre que no estoy rodando, intento venir 3-4 días y ver el máximo de películas y tener una visión del cine que se está haciendo en todo el mundo. Ahora estoy de jurado y tengo la suerte de poder ver toda la selección y valorar, sabiendo la responsabilidad que eso implica. Y sí, es mejor que estar en un spa para mí.
Depuis que j'ai 16 ans, je m'incruste dans les festivals de ciné pour voir les films gratuitement.
Film festivals to see films free of charge, and I continue to do so once I'm here. I've always come as a spectator for many years now, and I'm deeply honored to be here. And yes, it's much better than being in a spa. It's much better to be a member of the jury.
I don't know exactly what it is. Thank you.
I'm Emre Buga from Turkey, anchor news anchor in Haber Global TV. I would like to ask to my question, Ebru Ceylan. Yes, we know your films were winner, the best international film, Winter Sleep, and 2 lots of jury awards, something. And last year, your film won the best actress. So I would like to ask you two how you are feeling in that jury chair as a winner.
Tabii ki gurur verici bir duygu her şeyden önce.
First of all, it's a great
Ben şöyle
source
düşünüyorum.
of
Ödüller
pride for me.
sadece güzel bir yemeğin üstüne yenilen tatlı
The
gibi geliyor
awards,
bana.
prizes,
Biraz mutlu bir
it's
son
like
gibi.
a dessert after a
Bu
very
anlamda
pleasant meal.
haz verici, mutluluk verici bir şey.
It's a good ending. It's something that's very pleasant indeed.
Okay, we got time for one last question. Gentleman over there.
Hi, I'm Benoit Berthelot. I'm with Bloomberg. This is a question for Greta Gerwig as a US director and Omar Sy as a French actor. Just to follow up on Me Too, it started 7 years ago in the US. It seems like there is an ongoing and a momentum now in France. Are you surprised it's taking maybe longer here or it met more resistance? What are the changes that you saw already in the industry and what are the changes that are still needed?
Well, I think I can't speak to the sort of the way the timelines work with movements like this, but I can say that it's evolving all the time, and it's not something that's a kind of a destination we all reach together. It's something that we kind of keep discussing and figuring out how we want our industry and cinema to be. So I think that this is something that's, it's ongoing. I would say there are very many concrete changes that have happened with the American film industry, and the one I always think of is the rise of intimacy coordinators, and that was not something when I was starting out that happened at all, and now it's being built into films, and I think of it the exact same way as I think of a stunt coordinator, a fight coordinator. This is it's an art, and it's part of building a safe environment, just as you would if you were going to have two people, fight with swords. You don't just see what happens. I mean, that would be terrifying. So I think that it's being in the conversation. So and I think it will continue. I think it's always changing.
Oui, tout a été dit à peu près, je crois.
I think just about
Non, c'est
everything's
ça, c'est
been
qu'en fait,
said.
déjà, oui, il y a quelques années,
Indeed,
donc,
a few
la parole
years
a été
ago,
ouverte. Et depuis, elle
people
continue
started speaking out,
donc c'est bon signe. De se
and
dire
that's
qu'en
a very
fait,
good sign.
la conversation et les discussions
The
continuent.
conversation
de
and the
savoir qu'il y a de plus en
discussions
plus
are
de femmes qui ont
ongoing.
le courage de
There are
dire
more
les
and more
choses.
women who
Donc,
have the courage to
effectivement,
speak
on
out.
peut considérer que c'est
I
assez
think
tard,
that we
mais en tout cas,
can say
c'est
that
en train de
perhaps
se
this is
passer,
coming
et
late,
ça se
but this
passe
movement is underway
visiblement de plus
now,
en plus. Alors,
and it's
l'industrie du
clearly
cinéma
growing in
est
strength. The film
très visible,
industry
donc on en
is
entend parler,
highly
mais
visible, so people
je
talk a
crois
lot
savoir
about
que
it.
ça s'est bien
I
réparti
believe
dans
I'm not
toutes les
mistaken
couches de
in
la
saying
société,
that
ce qui
this
est une bonne
is
chose.
true of
Et donc
all
voilà,
areas of society,
continuer
which is a good thing.
à suivre ce
I believe we
progrès-là.
must continue to
Voilà,
follow
mais en
this
tout cas,
progress and continue
je
it.
pense pas. Vous avez parlé d'un retard en
You
France.
talked
J'ai pas le
about
sentiment
things
que
happening a bit late on in France,
on n'est pas en
but I
retard par rapport à
don't
quoi.
know
Sauf
whether
qu'aujourd'hui,
we're
il y a une conversation qui est là,
late
qu'il y a des gens
vis-à-vis
qui prennent la
something
parole
else.
et,
People are speaking out, people are talking about
il y a
this,
de retard.
and I'm not under the impression that we're
Madame la Présidente,
approaching the topic
ladies
late.
and gentlemen of the jury, thank you so much.